All right, so I want to show you guys what we're dealing with here. So we got the wheels off, just the rears. Because like I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tackle this rear end. I'm gonna show you guys the plan of attack here. So basically we got a few days worth of quarter work. That includes the inner wheel wells and cleaning up all that mess that I talked about and that I'm about to show you. Disassembly is basically just tearing down the car, all the parts that are on there. Prep for primer on the issues that we're gonna need the primer, and then prep for paint on the parts that are, you know, new, like for instance, your bumpers and your fenders. We don't need to put primer on those. Those are just gonna get prepped and then sealed and then painted. But we'll prime, you know, the parts that need it. So prep for paint, we're gonna have a few days of paint work. Obviously clean up the paint work if there's any nibs and stuff like that, and then we got assembly and then final cleanup. These are some of the punch notes that the customer gave to me. Pretty straightforward, and all this stuff I already went over, but this is just a little reminder for myself. But yeah, let's get back to the actual car. So again, this quarter section on both sides was put onto this car by a different shop. So the issues that are here were caused by them, unfortunately. So getting in here, you can see this whole edge, if you look, is basically not connected. So it's not connected to the outside. You know, you can see down here, and then, you know, we've got tons of holes. This is how it came in. I have not grinded any of this. This is all how it came in. So none of this has been coated with anything. None of this has been sealed with anything. No go, not good. Why there's a strip right there, you know, inch strip or 3/4 inch strip or whatever, I do not know. I don't. Drago, get out of the car. Sorry, Paul, I'll clean it up, don't worry. Why there's that strip, I have no idea. But the big issue, like I said, is here where the outer quarter and the inner wheel well is not connected in a lot of spots. So that's what we're worried about. And then all this stuff not being coated, not good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some welds, you know, get all this stuff sealed up with some welds. But also a big thing that I'm gonna be doing is basically doing panel bond on all these seams. That's gonna basically seal up all these seams, which is a structural, you know, seal. I mean, it's already, you know, it's welded in there. It's not gonna move anywhere. These up here, this is not great, but all this stuff, I mean, it's not gonna fucking go anywhere, even though the welds are not pretty. The panel bond isn't, you know, like I said, it's structural stuff, but it's, you know, this isn't going anywhere. It's more of just to seal it up and make sure that, you know, we're not gonna have any exposed metal, any holes that water or debris can get into, all that good stuff. I'm gonna show you the other side because the other side is pretty bad too. One other thing I haven't gotten to is getting the bumper off yet, because I wanted to show you guys like a before kind of, you know, situation that I'm dealing with. So again, on this side, the plastic bracket that goes into this hole, which holds the bumper to basically this, doesn't fit because there's too much material here that they put in, so it's pushing the bumper out a little bit. Now the bumper doesn't move right now, but as you can see, it does, you know, it can move on the bottom especially, and just not that great. So that plastic piece is going to have to be, we're going to get these symmetrical, these inner wheel wells to both sides, so that way this plastic piece can attach here, and then the bottom of the bumper, that way the bumper isn't flapping around like that. Again, it's you know, it's just a detail that I don't know how it got missed, you know what I mean? But whatever, we'll get it fixed. So let me show you the other side. Now this one is a lot more noticeable. So if you see down there, that's, you know, that's, let me put this, let me see if I can get this magnetized. Oh yeah, perfect. All right, so you see this gap here? This is the outer quarter and this is the inner wheel well. Not attached at all. You know, like I said, it's not gonna go anywhere because it is, you know, it's welded, you know, here. So this quarter is not gonna, you know, fly off or something like that. And they did a decent job as far as blending out where it went in. you know, as far as where they cut and such. But they definitely didn't do great on the inside. I don't know if they just didn't think anyone noticed, but there's a huge gap going from the inner wheel well to the outside quarter, almost all the way around. And again, I haven't grinded any of this, I haven't touched any of this. These are all basically how it came from the place. So you see a giant hole right there, and you know, some holes here. That's why, like I said, I put the panel bond on my welds afterwards, because it seals up all those little pinholes that you might get if you were, you know, welding or whatnot. So this side, the customer was telling me that this side they did second. So you see there's not the strip, so to speak, as much as the other side. I mean, there is something here, but like I said, the main concern is getting this all fucking sealed up. So there's, like I said, here, let me move this. You see the gap? All right there, all the way around. Nothing is sealed, nothing's attached. Holy shit, I didn't even see that. So we'll have to get this bumper off because, oh shit, I almost dropped the phone. Oh yeah, look at that, huh? So that's not good. We don't want shit getting up in there, because that's going to cause issues down the line. You know, with moisture, you know, a bunch of water and debris gets stuck in there. We don't want that. You know, we want these wheel wells coated, sealed. That way, you know, it gets cleaned and you can just hose it off and not have to worry about it. We don't want a bunch of fucking holes where, like I said, dirt and water gets stuck up in there. So yeah, man, this is all, look at that. This is all not sealed all the way around. So that's the goal. That's why I put a few days on there to deal with this quarter. We're gonna have to get this bumper off to see what else is going on in there. And then the other thing is, like I said, this is all piecemeal together, but there's, if you notice, all right, so look at these holes. So see that hole there and see that hole there, how they're pretty much perpendicular to each other. Let's go check the other side again one more time. Nope, not even close. So that's what I was talking about on the two sides, making them symmetrical. That way that plastic piece gets in there. Me and the customer were talking this morning about, you know, the gap here, how it's smaller on this side than it is on the other side. So you got about an inch here and then about a ½ inch or, you know, 3/4 inch on this side. And we were talking about, you know, that's probably because this bumper is, you know, too far forward or not forward enough. We'll figure that out when we get this light out of here. And like I said, get the bumper off and see what the differences are, because the big concern with the customer is obviously making everything symmetrical. And we were talking about, I talked about in the other video, we got to trim this bumper to match the, you know, the wheel well, but we don't want to cut one side ½ inch and one side a full inch, because then this, you know, body line here is going to be different, or, you know, bigger on one side by an inch. And it's, you know, we just want to get it symmetrical. Obviously it's going to be tough to get it perfect, but we're going to, you know, make it so it's not obnoxious like it is now. I always tell people you can only look at one side of the car at a time. No, I'm kidding. But so that's what we're dealing with. I just wanted to show you, now that I've got the wheels off, you know, what we've got going on here. And then yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna get the bumper off, get the lights out, get this thing more torn apart, and then I'll give you guys an update on that. All right, peace. All right, so we got our rear bumper off. So it's kind of hard to see because it's, you know, we're a few feet back. But if you look at these two, this black section here and this black section here, you see that little piece sticking out right there? See how that comes out and then goes back in? And see how this one doesn't? That's the issue that's causing that bumper to stick out further. There's too much material right there for some reason. Yeah, so basically this section right here, yeah, see how this comes in like this, or sticks out like this? Let's go to the other side. Oh, much different. Yeah, So that's one of the issues, like I said, with the bumper being pushed out too far. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I don't know. What's crazy to me about this whole issue that I'm looking at is that the customer supplied brand new quarters. So these sections of the quarter were brand new. Why they decided to chop them up and then basically fabricate or try and fabricate new pieces in, fucking beyond me. The nicest thing you could possibly ever have is a new quarter, because you're literally just removing the old quarter and attaching the new quarter. You shouldn't have to really fabricate anything. You're just taking off the old one and putting on the new one. When you have to fabricate stuff like this is usually when you have like a donor quarter, like I did in the last Subaru project, where you have to section out parts from a donor, but the donor has issues as well. You get what I'm saying? So you're having to fabricate sections because the piece that you're trying to put on has problems. So you're trying to fix basically two problems to make it one good. So why there's so much sectioning here is beyond me. I don't know. I mean, like I said, if I were to replace a quarter, you section off the new quarter, you basically cut off the old quarter, the spot welds and whatnot, put the new piece on, go around the edges, seal it up, done. Why there's so much sectioning, I have no fucking idea. Now that side is the side they did first. So apparently this side is better, which it looks like it's better because you don't see the sectioning down here like you did on the other one, or at least it's done better. So there's that. The other issue that I was talking about is the way the bumper sits. So the bumper sits, the bumper sticks out just a hair, 1/4 of an inch probably. And that's caused by this kink right here. So this little section, you're probably not gonna see it in the video, but this right here, you can almost see. So there's a divot and then another divot right here. That little divot is what's pushing this quarter in that little 1/4 of an inch or whatever it is. Let me show you the other side. See how there's no divot here? It's nice and smooth and it's pushed out. So that's what's missing from the other side. Is there should be no divots here, which is, you know, affecting this corner. Because if I were to push in right here, this corner would obviously follow with that. And that's what's happening here. See? You see it better now, this angle. So this whole little section needs to be tapped out to bring this corner out. And obviously we've got some issues here, but if they're not affecting it, I'm not gonna fuss with them too much. Probably push out this divot and then push out this one. Again, they're not visible, but because it is affecting the outside, not good. So that's our situations. We've got our work cut out for us on this one. Now that we have this off too, you can see that none of this is sealed. And then, shit, I don't have my light, but, oh, I don't know. Oh no, hang on, where'd I put my light at? Let me see if I can get it. Where'd I put it? Yeah, there he is. Oh man. Well, my phone got filled up storage, so I got cut off, but that is indeed a pretty large hole right there. Not good. Interesting. So we got our work cut out for us on this little job. Fucking golly, this is ugly, man. None of this is coated. All right, cool. Well, let me get to it and I'll keep you guys updated. Peace. All right, so we got our quarter here. So I started tapping out the corner because, like I said, there's a pinch right here and a divot little right here. There is some access from the backside, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. But I did get some of it out. So if you look, if I get this bumper set right, we can see that this fitment is already much better than it was. But now the issue is there's a shit ton of Bondo right here. You can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, five layers going on there. So that's how it sits now. So like I said, this is, well, hang on. That's how it sits now. So as you can see, it's in now because I grinded off all the Bondo. So the fitment is better, but now that we're taking this material off, it's worse. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all this shit off, and then you can see it's fitting, you know, it's lining up a lot better than it was. But I'm gonna get this shit off and then see what we got going on, see if I can't work the metal some more. If not, I do have a donor quarter, so we can, you know, section this off to get this radius right. The other thing we were talking about is how it lines up in the wheel well, and that could be caused by, you know, excess filler here, which is preventing the bumper from moving up. We'll see, but I just wanted to show you guys what I'm working with here. You know, like I said, they had a filler to basically bridge that gap, but yeah, now that I take it off, we're looking a little worse off. Better because we got the metal out, worse because now we're taking away the filler. So I'm gonna keep working on it and show it to you guys in a bit. Peace. All right, so got a lot of the Bondo off. This panel is wavy as shit. I already started working on it, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and tap out the metal from the inside and get this a lot flatter. There was probably a, you know, 1/4 inch Bondo, which was not necessarily that needed. It just needed to be worked much more, but as you can see, it's pretty thick up through here too on this body line. So I'm gonna take it a little bit further and see what's going on up here. These lines are all body filler as well. You can just tell because how sharp that is, that's filler. So yeah, we're gonna clean this up and yeah, see what we got going on and see if we can't work the metal a little bit better. I thought we had a donor quarter, but that donor quarter is off of a sedan. So I was thinking about replacing this section here, but it's different. So we're not gonna be able to do that. So we're gonna have to work with what we got here. And like I said, we're already getting pretty damn close. Just gonna take a little bit more, you know, metal work here. But as you can see, this, how much filler there was. You can see that gap right there, that was all filler that was making it come out to that far. So definitely a pain in the ass, but yeah, we'll keep trucking on it, make it look good. Well, it's always worse than what you think it's gonna be, right? It's just how these things go. So this thing, let me grab a paint stick and show you something. All right, got a paint stick. So I'm gonna try and show you guys this the best I can, because I don't know how the hell this even happens. So if you look between the paint stick and the body of the car, you see that gap right there? How the hell does that even happen? Or up here, again, if this was a new panel, it's like 1/4 of an inch. There's like, that's even a better angle. See all that space? What the fuck is that, dude? Look at that gap. All that space. So that was all filler. So somehow there's a giant fucking dent right there. You know, I mean, the body obviously comes out here and it goes in here. So this is a curved area, but there, that's a good spot. See that gap right there? What the fuck is that? That's basically just there's a dent that's going up all right here. It's pushed in, which I don't know how. And then this area is, you know, again, it's hard to see. I mean, you can feel it. When you feel it, it's crazy. So all this was obviously pretty thick filler, but I just don't understand because it shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? If you're putting a new panel on, let me get the focus. If you're replacing this panel, the panel was fucking brand new. So why is there fucking damage all through fucking here and all up here? You know what I mean? Usually, if you, like, let's say you section this out and you put a new piece here, the only place you're gonna need filler is that section where you welded, and just to make sure it's like thin and flat and whatever. Why the fuck is there damage in the middle of the fucking panel of a new panel you put on? It doesn't make any sense.
Same with down here. This is all fucking shot, dude. This is all fucking tweaked up. Look at all this. I mean, you can see just the filler that's left. Those are all divots. Those are all fucking low spots. You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck these people did. Luckily, it's not too bad as far as repairing it. It's not mangled too bad. You know what I mean? I can work the metal from the inside and push it out quite a bit. But it just doesn't make any sense. Let me show you on this one too. All right, here's an example, right? So let's say I wanted to replace, this doesn't fit, by the way. Like I said, this is a sedan. So this whole section is different, even though it's similar, it's different. So anyways, but back to what I was saying. So let's say I wanted to replace that section that I was just talking about. Let's say I cut it right in the middle here, right? And I cut here, and then I use this whole section down. This whole area is fine. There shouldn't be filler on any of this. You know, you got a little ding right there, but you fix that. But there shouldn't be filler on this. They replaced this, whole section, and then somehow managed to fuck up the whole fucking part that they put in. You fucked up a piece that you put in. What the fuck is that, dude? Dude, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it, dude. I don't know what happened here, but something fucking happened here. It's kind of a sign, too, with all this shit. Like, look at, why the fuck there's welds all fucking, and there, you see? Panel bond should have been put there. You see the light coming through? Those are holes. Those are holes that should have been filled. But all those, why is there so many fucking, see, another holes. Why are there so many fucking welds? You know, if you section this right here, just this little spot, and you had to weld here and fucking put it in, okay, I could understand why there's welds here. But if you replace this whole fucking section, there shouldn't be welds all in the fucking, how? It's a big piece. Why isn't it, you're just welding the outside. I don't know. Fucking blows my mind. But you took an easier job and you made it. All right. So what I decided to do, because I couldn't pull this corner out, it's a total pain in the ass. Basically, there's a panel and then another panel behind that. So to get into here, there's, a quarter of an inch. I'll show you. Basically down in there, back there somewhere. I don't know, back there somewhere. It's in between multiple, it's just hard to get to. So to pull that out, it's damn near impossible. Again, if this is all new panel, why the fuck is this fucked up? I don't know. It's driving me nuts. It's rattling my brain. Doesn't make any sense. But what I decided to do is basically add on some more material, just weld on some more material. That way we could build that basically where you see that I've welded. So up to about here is where the bumper doesn't sit correctly. That's still super fucking hot. I don't want to put the plastic bumper up there. But doing this, I can grind this down and then obviously make this, nice and flush. And it also is going to make it stronger. When I was pushing from the inside out, I broke through some of this over here. So again, I don't know what this is all about, but yeah. So I'm going to get this corner nice, or as close to nice finished today. I'm not going to do any kind of, filler or anything like that or whatever, but I want to get the metal stuff done. That way this corner is out, finished up for welding, and I can go on to welding and finishing up the inside of the wheel wells tomorrow. I made that schedule that I showed in the beginning of the video, trying to stick to that. At least that, you know what I mean? I don't want to go beyond it. If I go shorter than that, that's great. This is going pretty smooth now. Like I said, I was beating on it for a while. All this was all waved out and messed up. Up here was pushed in. There was just, from where you see grinded, from there to there, looked like a mess, dude. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, my last video cut out. Apologize about that. Also, this is the last video that I'm not gonna have a microphone. I'll have a microphone tomorrow starting, so the next videos are gonna be good. But I'm gonna keep grinding on this and show it to you before I quit for the night. Peace. All right, so we got some build up here, welded up some build up. So as you can see, nice and flush. Still gotta grind some of this down, you know what I mean? Clean it all up, and then we'll put some panel bond on it and get it all finished up, and then this quarter, or this corner, not quarter, corner, will be pretty close to being, you know, ready for the next step. I just wanted to get that finished today. That was the goal for today, because that was going to be a pain in the ass. I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass because the last one I did was, so word to the wise, pain in the ass. But otherwise, so yeah, I'm going to get the panel bond, or finish grinding that, get the panel bond on there, and then tomorrow we'll move on to sealing up the wheel wells. Cool. Thanks for watching. If you guys watch the whole thing, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be like I said, posting these updates every day or every other day, close to it as I make progress until this thing is done. Catch you on the next one. Peace.